Hello. Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let me just bring up the chat. Bear with me. So let me just bring up the chat. Sounds good. We're live. Edit. 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 Sorry about that typo. Edit. Nick. Sam. Bubba. Edit is here. Yeah, I misspelt Ebit's name on the Kickstarter page. So that was a bit embarrassing. Right, I want to try and do something here. Let's see if I can get the chat up on the screen. To do that, I need to let's see if I can get the chat up on the screen. Make that quiet. Is it possible? Let's have a look. Possibly. Sebastian, Jim, how are you doing? Good to see you guys. Wolf Shield Bez, good to see you. Welcome. So I am Harold. Good evening. Evening all. Right, I think I can do it. Let me just try and grab this, put an asset in here. I'm gonna have to do it over here. Just bear with me, people. Sorry. Doing some work in my shop for a bit, then going to play with the Ancestry when I go inside. Nice work. Right, it may cut off. Can I do chat at the side? Probably not. Oh, that might work. Here we go. Aha. Dominic, good to see you. Prestige, welcome in. Brian, Jeff, Julian, Todd. Brett, Wolf, congrats Toby, thank you. Matt, good to see you. So I'm fiddling around here. Let's grab a smart selection here. Okay, look at that. Put the chat window there. Grab in some stuff. Blaine, thank you. Congratulations on your Kickstarter. Wow, guys, just mind-blowing response. It has been amazing. Just totally overwhelmed, totally delighted, and just what an awesome community has grown up around 2D6 Dungeon and then expanding out. I mean, this expansion exists because of you guys, because of how 2D6 Dungeon has created this world. And we want to explore more. I want to explore more. I want to get out there and explore. So hopefully that chat will work there. And we'll talk more about the campaign. I've got it on the screen here. We'll have a little look down there. I know there were a number of questions. Let's give it a little bit longer. And then we'll start answering some questions. And wow. Brian says, backed already. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody who has backed Lord McCrae, thank you. Good evening. Right, hopefully that will all work now. Wow, okay. Pro streamer, not. Okay, so, and hopefully then I can move this a little bit. Yeah, that works. Creepy Hero, good to see you, my friend. Hello all, glad to be part of this awesome Kickstarter. Well, thanks for saying. It's just awesome to have you on board, my friend. You're an awesome person, creator, you deserve this. Blaine. Phew, made it, Sam says. Yeah, we got good numbers. Good numbers. And then so what we'll do is today we'll talk a bit about the campaign. Just go through it briefly. I don't want to dwell on it too much. In the sense, I don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself. I just want to answer people's questions more than anything. And there were a few things that have popped up that were people have asked about. So things like the lair and a few other little bits and pieces. And I wanted to sort of clarify that on this stream. So if you're coming in and you're watching this back later, you might have to skip the first 10-15 minutes while people come in and we say our hellos. Jaux J, hi Toby and Co. Well, yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Lord McGray, still need to figure out which additional add-ons I want. And that's the key thing, okay? That's what's nice about Kickstarters is you can go back in and manage your pledge and add new stuff on. Because, stupidly, I did exclude the spiral bound edition of 2D6 Realm when I first launched it. It's one of those things. It's one of these things. The hardest thing about setting up a campaign is sorting out your rewards. It really is a kind of, it's almost like it's a mind bender, because you're kind of like, what are people going to want? You've got certain things you want to try and provide for a campaign. Like we've got the dice. That was something I really wanted to add in after we had that discussion on one of the streams, which was really useful. And yeah, it is. And then so few of you good guys pointed out to me that it wasn't on, so I added that in. And then there was a couple other things that I didn't add in. Jess, thanks for doing the spiral editions. Good to see you, Jess. Yeah, the spiral edition is there. I wanted to make sure it was available, and it needed to be in all three formats. And of course the cards, the title debacle, unfortunately. Jeff, the dice look nice, by the way. Thank you. That took like a day to mock those up. I'm super excited about the spirals. It's a fantastic edit. I'm glad. It's going to be really interesting to see how many people we get backing on the spiral tier. But that's going to be a feature now. It's going to be something that we do going forward. For every iteration of 2D6, there's going to be a spiral edition, so people can get that. And it's going to be interesting to see people's pictures. It's a top quality wire silver metal bind. Well, put it this way, we've got three choices we can pick from, and we're going to obviously pick the most expensive one, the one that is the strongest. It goes without saying. And I'll give more details about what that is near the time. But we're going to top quality spiral. Is the spiral version of Dungeon going to be in 2 books like the original? No, it's not. The spiral edition is going to be like the hardback, so it's going to be thick and so as like the hardback. And so you'll have, if you get the spirals, you have 3 books. If you get the rules, the realms, and the Lairs Omnibus. It's been so manic. I'm pulling like one day I think I did 20 hours, just like I think the day before, 2 days before the Kickstarter, and I was like just crazy. But and you know, because it is largely me. My wife Jo does read through them, but we are kind of trying to pick up any little errors. And the biggest error, it's not really an error so much as a kind of mislabeling, because they do include the layer cards, is on the add-ons, the cards themselves are have been titled 2d6 layer cards, when it should be 2d6 realm cards. On the picture it says realm cards, in the description it says realm cards, but stupidly on the header so yeah, so it's going to be Sam. It's going to be one book. Already have the Lair version 1. Anyway, that Haunted House expansion will be a separate with Lair. Already have it as a PDF, but was hoping to pick it up printed. Yes, Matt. The Haunted House is going in to the Omnibus, the Lairs Omnibus. It's not going into Lairs Volume 2, because Lairs Volume 2 is going to be like Lairs Volume 1. It's going to have 2 layers in with some additional rules for those particular layers. One of those is called the Basins of Adrumar. It's just some sunken land. They're like basins lower, and they're infested with the iron trolls are within the Basins of Adrumar, and they are pretty tough foe. But that's one of the layers, and the other one we haven't. I've got one main idea, but that hasn't been written yet. Whereas the Basins of Adrumar are half written. So, hi Tim, how you doing? Good to see you. B75. That is 75 is a good pedigree. It's a good year. Hi Toby. With the map generation in Realms, is it possible to roll the same land type consecutively? And if so, how do you tell where the boundary of the 2 plots are later on? Now you see, that is a really good question, Tim. Today I've sent a few changes to the testers, to the proofreaders. The main testers haven't got the main bulk of the testers haven't got the game to test yet. But I'm going to be packaging that up as a land generation system to them next week. So other testers are going to get it. But the main thing is with the land generation is once you've generated those plot lands, they will almost merge into one. Now, when you check your land register, you'll see with that tag, you've got 3 forests, okay? And you'll see on the map 3 connected to it, all right? And it will logically make sense. Now, if there's a slight blending and you mix them over slightly, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. This is the thing, right? Originally, we had put lines around the areas for the generation, but actually, as it happens, we don't need to do that. It makes it look too blocky. I want it to look more natural, and these land formations will kind of blend into one, if you like. So as long as you know how many forests for those 2 plots there are, you're okay, honestly. And the way that the testing is kind of leaning is you're going to have a lot of plot generation. You will be building buildings, but it won't be to the point where it gets necessarily too massive. Okay. So we're going with a kind of, it's like, I think one of the pillars of the 2d6 world is a kind of organic feel. We're not nailing rules down to a surface all the rules anyway. There are some key rules which you obviously have to keep in there, and they're the backbone. But there's a certain creative freedom with it. It's like creating a piece of art. You know, you've got certain things you want to show in the image, but then the rest of it, there's a kind of like a creative area to it. There's a kind of a creative finish. I hope that made sense. Love the options on this go. Sam says, love the options on this go round. Tough to choose. Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah. Well, as we've got more all the sort of the 2d6 dungeon stuff in there as a backlog kind of stuff, we can pull that in, and then the next one's going to be even more involved next year, but we're not talking about that at the moment. Is the creature card still expected back in stock? Yes, we got a notification today, Harold, that the creature cards are coming. They've gone to the depot, so they should be with us either tomorrow or Monday. Now, we always thought that they were going to be Monday, as far as I'm aware, or tomorrow, and then we will send them out the next day. So we've got about 20 orders that are back orders that we're going to be sending straight out. That's priority, and they'll be sent straight. So yes, they're very, very soon, which is exciting. Yes. So that is so so I see what you say there, Nick. Yeah. It does happen, but I think we need to kind of look over that and see whether we can just accept it as it is. There may be, although we've seen the land generation happening, when you encounter the lands, you get some details, you get a little description when you go into a plot, and then you get a table with an encounter that then may lead to another encounter, and that in turn may add things to the plot, which will give it more of a distinctive look. Okay, so you can maybe identify things through the encounters that you've had in that area. And I'm really excited about expanding out that kind of encounter, what the tables can do. I'm working up a non-player character system, because you're going to encounter strangers that you're not going to want to kill. You know, you want to have interactions with, and I'm doing that. I'm working up a kind of a multi-level encounter system where you can talk to people. It'd be rolling die and reading tables, but it's going to be it's going to open up possibilities, which is very exciting. So where are we at here? Joao, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Can the basins, Blaine says, can the basins where the Iron Trolls are be generated in 2d6 realms? Yes. So the basins of Adramar are volume 2 of 2d6 realms. 2d6 Lairs. So it's the second volume. So in each lair volume, there are 2 Lairs. So we've got volume 1, volume 2. Each one has 2 Lairs in it. Sunken Swamps and the Infernal Caves were the first ones, and the second book is a more setting-specific pair. So the Basins of Adramar, which is a place in the world, quite close to the Heartland where your character lives. And then the other one's going to be in another part of the world. Could be the Resin Valleys. We'll just have to see how we do it. But it's all going to be underground. Daggers in, smiley face. I'm in 2, just deciding what option I want. Fantastic. We've got something like 30 days, so you can take your time. You can, and see how it all evolves. And you'll see each week we're going to see more and more of the game develop. So I'm trying to complete 2 land types a day. So that's 2 encounters. So 2 types of land you can encounter a day, which should mean we get through it easily, sort of mid-December. Now, having said that, There's going to be other tables that I'm doing, so that may slow things down because there'll be lots of tables as normal. It's going to be slightly different layout when you're accessing the land type. You'll have a double page spread in the book for that land type. So details, tables, and then how you encounter it. How you then maybe draw that into your kingdom. So remember, kingdom, your realm. And the realm is something you can develop, you can grow. And that's something that we'll have another look at. Nick Gould, evening to you, backer number 1 here. Looking forward to playing this. Nick, you are quick on that click. Jess, will there be 10 levels to complete in 2d6 Realm like there is in Dungeons? Well, no, it's not quite like that, Jess. So basically, with this, there are kind of, I'm probably gonna miss the chat now, but that's fine. I'm going to explain this bit. So there's kind of like 3 elements to playing the game, and we kind of cover it a little bit in these panels, but I haven't kind of. I'm just gonna say it. Basically, you can explore the land and just go out and explore, and not develop a realm if you want to. Now, when you explore, there are options to expand your realm, but you don't have to take them. I'm also building in options where you can just strip stuff back and get gold. So there's that possibility. You can just do that if you want to. There's the aspect of building a realm. So you can build a realm, build buildings. There's a whole set of buildings. There are going to be building cards with details on that you can pull out and check, and you build that your realm, and then you build the special forges and workshops, and you can have houses and manors and farms and get an income. But then there's a third goal where you can prepare yourself for the legendary dungeon. You can with the second one, you can become a lord, you can become a lady, you can get titles and other rewards that way. And then the third one, you can prepare yourself to be that legendary. Once you've become a legendary adventurer, you can take on the legendary dungeon. And to do that, you need a set of mythical armor and a fabled weapon. And you can craft those and make those yourself with customized maneuvers and weapon damage types. So you can sculpt it how you want, and that's going to be part of the new system where you can make your own weapon and call it what you want. It can be any type of weapon. For those people that kind of felt a bit restricted by the number of weapons, well, there's going to be new ways of creating new weapons. Now, once you become a legend, at some point, as your kingdoms become big, you can go out there, and then there'll be another level to go to beyond 2d6 Realm, which will be the legendary dungeon, which is going to be next year. That's going to have advanced combat, and it's kind of like godlike status fighting. Hopefully, we're going to see how that works with obviously more magic. So those are 3 things that kind of make up the game. Now, what was I? May have missed some bits there. Will there be 10 levels? So 10 levels. It's not 10 levels. It's really getting your preparation. So building yourself up. Now within 2d6 Realm, there are going to be numerous. Now, if for some reason the stream goes down, hopefully it won't. It'll take me a minute just to come straight back up again, because I'm seeing a slight bit of jittering on my camera there. I've had a few problems with the computer lately. I've been trying to fix it, so hopefully it's fine. If it does go down, it'll just take me a minute to come back up again, people, just so you're aware. So within the realm, there are buildings to explore, caves to explore, sort of one level type like dungeons to explore. There's lots of different maps to draw and encounter. So that the whole thing is right. You're going to collect up a whole series of little kind of mini adventures, fighting creatures that you may be too strong for sometimes, so it's a bit of an easy affair, but then you're going to face some real challenges as well. So there are lots of different creatures and encounters to get in there. So that's going to be awesome. Let me just get back to that point there. I've gone beyond it. Oh, I see. So, were you in Spiel in Essen this year or before that? If not, maybe consider attending the Games Fair next year with your portfolio. That is a great point, Lord McGray. I would love to go over to Essen and go to it. It just would be fantastic. We are booked into UK Games Expo for next year and Norcon so far. So we've got Norcon in Norwich and UK Games Expo. It would be lovely, depending on what happens with this campaign and then as we move through the year, to be able to afford to go over to Essen. Again, can you imagine getting all the stock over to there is going to be a really, really difficult proposition. So I don't know how that would work. I've never done that sort of thing before. So we'll just have to see. But oh boy, well, I love it. Maybe we'll just go this year just to see what it's like. But I do want to have a presence in Essen. I do want to bring 2D6 Dungeon over to the event, and we're getting everything kind of sorted for this year. So we're going to basically for UK Games Expo, we're building a dungeon entrance to go in front of our stall or at the back of the stall to kind of create like a dungeon ambience and really push it. So. Right, I think I missed something. Jeff says, for the basin question, I think the question is about whether you end up having that layer in a specific square on the map. Now, that is a really good question, actually. Thanks, Jeff. I just misunderstood that one. It's in my mind that isn't the case. The layers aren't, in a sense, expansion for 2d6 2d6 realm. They're an expansion for 2d6 dungeon, if you see what I'm saying. So as is 2d6 realm. That's okay. Gets a bit confusing, but so you will be able to go to these layers, but there will be a destination to go to. Like when you go to the dungeon, when you're in the realm and you're running your realm, the whole dungeon thing is out there, and you go to that dungeon, okay, when you want to. So it's like that is how you build your character up with the levels, you know. And it isn't actually noted on your realm. It's back near your town where you come from. You've kind of moved out into the countryside and exploring the land around, if you see what I'm saying. And the layers are similar. So the Basin of Adrumar, there is going to be a little bit of narrative that takes you to that location from your realm. So you'll still do those adventures, and you'll run your realm alongside it. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Are the bookmarks different from the original 2D6 dungeon release? Hard to tell from the pictures online. Sam, that's a really good question. See, that's great feedback. Okay, so 2D6 bookmarks. Now that we've got the same names, you can see the names on there, but people may not have been aware of those. So maybe I'll put some images on there to show them close up, or just sort of give a bit more of an idea of what they are, so people are aware. It's good point. Good point. Yes. So you've got the main crib sheet bookmark, which covers quite a lot of the kind of generating of rooms, and then you've got the items values lists bookmark, which is new, and it wasn't in the last campaign, but I have been talking about it on other streams, and it's also on the website, that one. So that is that. So one is newish, one is the old one. So hopefully you would have seen these before. you may not have seen the items lists. And there's some new items on there with some values that can help you kind of value the stuff that you find in game, and then when you sell it on at the market. Fantastic. Nice thing about solo play, no murder hobo issues usually. True. Unless you just kind of lose it one time and you kind of like just you become one yourself. Pledged for the paperback Realm, Lairs Omnibus and Lairs cards. Yeah, that's the Realm cards with the Lair cards in them. I was tempted to go hardback, Tim says, but it just got a bit pricey with Christmas coming up. Yeah. I mean, that does bring the whole thing about time of year. I mean, if you look at MCDM, they're launching their project soon, not on Kickstarter. There's quite a few projects I've noticed going live now, and it's really tricky. For me, for my family, for my business, this has to happen now. Partly because we've got to pay our tax at the end of January. Partly because I felt like this is the right time in the reflection. I want to try and get 2 of these done a year. That's kind of like the aim. So we want to try and get 2 done in. I want to fit it into this year. Keep the content going. Keep the interest going. It only makes sense. People are telling me they've reached level 10. They need more content, and I'm excited about that. And I want to be able to try and bring that for people. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. But hopefully it's early enough so people haven't spent all their Christmas money. Oh, Nick, thank you for putting those up there, my friend. Nick is, nobody else get jealous, but Nick is number 1 moderator. I think he's been here the longest. Nick and I have been talking before all these game stuff kicked off. So, Creepy Hero Studio says he likes to run off and have a pint every now and then. It's a short delay. Hopefully not. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Oh man, Nick's on it. Make sure you read what Nick puts in there. Thanks, Nick. Copper Mutant. I'm late to the party, but is this like a compliment to 2D6 Dungeon, like Sandbox Generator or 2D6 World Builder, or sounds like maybe a standalone? Right, really good question. Thank you, Copper Mutant. What a great name. This is an expansion for 2D6 Dungeon. It's part of the 2D6 Dungeon world or universe or umbrella or whatever you want to call it. It's the first large expansion for the project, and expands. It's all based in the same world. Expands out that world. It is an overland expansion for a dungeon crawler. So in a sense, you are right. It's the kind of like the next part of what this is. So it is as you say, which is fantastic. We're doing 2D6 Void next year, which is the sci-fi expansion, and we're doing the legendary dungeon. We also want to do another dungeon, Ancestry, as well, but we'll just have to see how the schedule works out. Snooker has just finished, so I can completely concentrate on this now. Tim, excellent. Who was playing? I'm a massive snooker fan myself. I was a big Jimmy White fan back in the day. Love it. Copper Mutant, it is the overworld. Oh, yes. Thanks, Nick. Sebastian, are the Lair books used with 2D6 Realm? No. They're not a compulsory component by any stretch of the imagination. Right? You can explore the Lairs while you're managing your realm. If you've got the realms, if you've got the Lairs book, you can do some 2D6 Realm, manage your thing, and then you can go off on a turn and go to a lair, and then you come back and carry on your turn. So you can like manage it. So you can kind of like do a bit of dungeon, bit of realm, bit of lair. Okay, but the lair is not actually marked on the map for 2D6 Realm. And the reason is you can't just keep generating, because everything's randomly generated. You can't have a realm. You can't have suddenly you generate, say, 5 just by fluke. You generate 5 Lairs within like 4 maps worth. It wouldn't work that way. You know, there's one of each of these lairs, and you go to that location in a separate way. Hopefully that makes. But the creature cards can be used in 2d6 Realm if you want. The book goes into ways of supplementing creatures with other creatures. You can swap them out, swap them in, or use particular creatures in certain ways. And if there's creatures in the lairs that you like, and there are some in there that are particularly handy for such situations as maybe exploring caves and whatnot, then you can swap those in. So if you've got the cards, the 2d6 Realm cards, which I've accidentally titled 2d6 Lair cards in the add-ons, then you will find the lair monsters are in there, and that you can use them if you want to. Mark, good to see you. Daniel, you've been collecting some of our dungeon drawings. Any information on where they'll pop up in the expansions? Yes. Now, I'm obviously going to be contacting people about their dungeon drawings if I want to use them. So the plan is those dungeon drawings are going to be a section. I've asked some people whether I can use them, and I've had a fair few thumbs up, which is fantastic. And you'll get full credits. Clearly, that they're going to go in the back of the Lairs Omnibus. Okay, so at the back of the Lairs Omnibus there'll be some pre-generated. I'm calling them pre-generated maps, and we're going to have a way. Each of the rooms, okay, is going to be labelled. If the maps have been drawn the way that the instructions have been laid out, and that each room is given a name, you can look that room up and encounter it as the map shows. Okay, and there's going to be like a short set of rules of how to use those, and that's at the back of the Lairs Omnibus. It's part of the extras of buying the Lairs Omnibus. It's a bespoke product for the Kickstarter campaign, and I feel bad that some people have asked me, can I get this free extra content? At the moment, it's available in the Omnibus because I want to give something special. I want a special product that goes that is out there, and then this is going to be other bits and pieces in there. And the product, these pre-generated maps, they will then appear. Some of those will appear. I can't guarantee exactly whether it's going to be all of them or some of them, but they will appear in another product later on. So they will be available at a later date, but for the moment they're just exclusively available in the Omnibus. So yeah. that's where they're going to appear, my friend. Ebbit, new event. You return to town and encounter 2d6 murder hobos. Well, there are going to be, no kidding, they're not murder hobos, but there are going to be bandits and brigands and thugs that the Constable has to go in and deal with, because you've got 2 characters in 2d6. You've got the Constable and you've got the Adventurer, and it will specify in the text whether you need to send the Constable in to deal with particular characters. And maybe because they're lower level characters, at Constable's lower level, you may have to send them in there, or it's a particular type of situation, maybe a social situation, maybe there's a family fight and you send the Constable in rather than the Adventurer. An Adventurer wouldn't necessarily, you as the Adventurer wouldn't necessarily want to go in and sort out a family feud in a house between some of your workers, if you see what I'm saying. So there are things. Now, don't get me wrong, you're not entering in, you're not going to be playing in an episode of Coronation Street or anything like that. This is going to be serious stuff, but the Constable's there for helping run day-to-day stuff. Yeah. Tax, what's that? Well, there is tax in game, and there's tax in real life, and there's tax everywhere. It's bloody everywhere. It's very taxing. Creepy Hero Juice, same here. I backed at a lower tier, but I'm hoping once the holidays are over, I'm have enough cash that I can update my backing and get all the goodies I want. creepy hero, that would be awesome. That would be really nice. I know it is that time of year, and I hope it hasn't hit people's pockets too hard. But it is November. Well, it was launched in November, so I don't know when people would start doing their Christmas shopping. Back in the days of Twitch streams every few months. Dick says, I don't know what that's referring to, Nick. Harold, do you create a new character, or does it carry on with the one you've already created from the original game? Again, there's going to be a little section in the rules about this. You can carry on with the original character by all means, or you can create a new character. It's open to either way. You don't have to be a legend to have a realm. You can be level 1 character, brand new, and then you can just get your realm, and you kind of got the adventurer vibe. People respect you. You've got a homestead, and you can build your realm, gain some money to buy some nice armor, and then you go down to the dungeon, do a few levels, come back up, spend some time in your realm, managing your properties, go back down, find some gold and treasure, come back and build a temple. And then you think, oh, I might do a lair. You've heard of a lair, the basins of Adramon. You go and fight that, and you come back with riches and success and magic scrolls. And then you go back down, and then you're back in your realm, and you're like, oh, this is great. And the Constable says, oh, God, I've got to go and deal with that monster that's in the cave we discovered just over there. So you then have to go and fight this monster. It's going to be, it's fairly involved. So yeah, Harold, you don't have to create a new character. You can use your old character. Do you also plan to create some 2d6 realm cards for key non-playable characters, not only creatures to face? Well, that is a really good, Julian. That is a great question. I think that ultimately, at this point in time, there won't be there won't be NPC cards, as far as I can tell at this stage, and that is because the NPCs that there might be one for the other landowners, prominent landowners in the area. I'm not sure yet. There's definitely going to be a reference table, and you definitely roll on tables when you meet the High Actuary, and you have to sort out land claims and disputes. But as far as NPCs, I'm not exactly sure yet. So that is a really good question. I'm going to make a note of that NPC count, if that's what you mean. But there is going to be a system whereby you can interact with NPCs. There's going to be an NPC generator that you might meet. So you're out in your land. You've come across you come across an abandoned road. There's someone who's kind of coming down it or something like that, and you can talk to them, have an encounter. Your reactions cause certain reactions. There's going to be like a heat system that affects how they respond to what you say. So it's going to be. I'm really excited about how that is going to work, and that's going to slot in lots of It's going to be lots of options. It's going to be random, and you're going to be meeting new people, and you can, yeah. Good to see. I'm excited. Wade, how are you doing, Wade? Good to see you. I think you left me a really incisive comment the other day. I was like, yes, Wade's on it. Do I need the Omnibus? What exactly is it? Sorry, not familiar with the word. I should have read that first. What is it? Oh, so an omnibus is like a collection, a kind of bringing together of some things. So in one spot, in a book or a film or a TV series, an omnibus, and it's a big round bus. You get a lift on. It takes you to lots of places on the bus. So. Yeah, do I need the omnibus? That is a good question. What can I say? You need the omnibus. No. You don't need it to play 2d6 Realm. No, you don't. It's an expansion like 2d6 Realm is of 2d6 Dungeon. But there's lots of really fun content in there that you will be able to use while playing 2d6 Realm. It will add to it. So as I was saying, you do some Realm, go and explore a lair. Do some Realm, go and explore a dungeon. So Wade, you need to tell me, do you need the Omnibus? And you don't need a ticket. Todd says Constable equals red shirt. I don't know, Todd. Sometimes you're too smart for me. Sam says someone needs to make a murder hobo card. That is a fantastic idea. I feel like the term murder hobo is going to be one of those terms that they cancel, because it feels very much like hobos are being targeted. I know it sounds stupid, but I'm hesitant to use any kind of term like murder hobo in anything. Brian Van Beek. Good to see you, Brian. Just completed my pledge. Excited for the spiral-bound copies of the books. Ordered another copy of the first one along with another copy of the Lairs for the fantastic. Thank you, Brian. Hobo with a shotgun. Tax, Sam says. This is supposed to be my escape from reality. Yeah. Well, hopefully, one of the nice things about the Tax Inc. game, Sam, is that you'll be able to pay it really easily, and it won't affect you too much. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Sam, not for the minions, lol. Right, kind of death and taxes. Jeff adds. Let me just have a look here. Did I miss anything? When I'm God status, there will be no taxes. You'll be off deep in the legendary dungeon, Sam, fighting this godly creature that is threatening the world. You'll be off. You won't. Taxes won't. There'll be a distant thought. What happens after when you complete that dungeon? I have no idea. Surely you need NPCs for your staff that run your land. Ah, Mark, you do. So you don't have. What I thought you meant by that was like NPC specific characters that you have on a card, and they have like a name or something there, and it'd be like Bob. But no, within the rooms, within your kingdom, and this is like a concept that covers lots of sort of settler games and stuff like that. You build houses and manors. Okay, houses and manors give you workers. You have to have workers. When you get on the sheet, there's a row, and on it you get little boxes where you can tick for workers. Okay, now these workers are then put into the buildings. I'm trying to streamline a system whereby you just have a couple of sheets and you write down the buildings, and then you can allocate workers and you move them off and move them on. So that is how it works. So you do. I don't really see them as non-player characters, because they're your workers. They're your people in your realm, and they look up to you as a leader. But they're not, in a sense, necessarily people you know their names. Well, you probably do. But you can kind of guess what I mean. You can see what I mean. Rank, washed or unwashed, of course. So, I go through I read through these the questions, and I understand everybody's, and then I come to Todd's, and he's put some cryptic comment in, and I don't know what it is. Todd, what are you doing to me? Creepy. It's funny though. Creepy Hero Studios. When you are a god status, you'll collect the taxes. Now that is the truth. That is the truth. Creepy Hero's getting the idea. He's jumping on Sam's bandwagon. That's what it is. I feel like there's a rebellion here. I feel like all these super legendary godlike adventurers are going to be turning around and creating a dominion. James, good to see you, my friend. Hi, Toby. Funny 3 weeks in UK and it takes getting back in US to watch a stream again. Lol. You sweat? What? You did 3 weeks over here, and now you've gone back over. Just pledged. Grats on another cool product. James, thank you, my friend. I do appreciate the support very much. Wade says, thanks, Nick. All aboard, ding ding on the bus. Yeah, get your omnibus tickets. Wade says, sold. Man, thank you. It's going to be that the omnibus is going to be fun. I'm really excited about bringing that together. I feel like that's going to give a real unity to the Lairs side of this, because we've had the kind of the haunted house and the Lairs and the kind of little kind of satellite type products. The omnibus slams it together into one big green bus. And the by the way, we're doing different colours, faux leather. So you've got the blue for the original rules, you've got red for the realm, and green for the Lairs, which I'm very excited about. No one's pointed that out to me. You are so right. We'll skip over that page and I'll correct that error. Oh my God, Tim, do me a favour. Can you go through the rest of the Kickstarter page and just check I haven't missed anything? And then email toby@drgames.co.uk. Don't put it in the comments section, please. Just making a note of that. Murderous hobo. It's almost canon, Sam. What have you done? Let's have a look here. Typical social ranks were slave, indentured, serf, commoner, merchant. The difference between slave and serf is pretty much a fine line. Well, in the UK, the serfs pretty much what we would call peasants, which is a fairly unpleasant word, really. But, you know, the lower kind of worker type people living in villages, the lowest paid human beings that have ever lived. They kind of were on the pay, though, slightly. They had lords. Hobo with a shotgun is a Rutger Hauer film, really? Oh, that sums it up, really, doesn't it? It's kind of probably 80s. Red Shirt is a Star Trek reference, Toby. Oh, of course. Yes. No. The Constable's not the Red Shirt. You mean the lieutenant without a name? Is that what you mean? Yes. Wasn't necessarily the Red Shirt always. It was the officer or the yeoman without a name. Often, more than not, I found anyway. Toby, if you Lord McGray, if you want to keep the 5 versions on the shelf as collector items, which of the other versions would you suggest for playing? Softcover, spiral, bound, or hardback? That is a really good question, Lord McGray. I just use the paperbacks to play. I just find they're very flippable. I'm not one. I don't need to sort of set books out in front of me. I have the map in front of me. I get the book, flip, reference, or card. I might lay down a card. I flip, reference, bang. I just don't have the space to lay out spiral bound books or anything like that. It's completely everybody's own preference though. So I can't, people will recommend, you'll get a different recommendation each time. So that is the that is all I can say to that, really. Sorry, slightly distracted then. Creepy Heroes, will there be other realms you interact with, create trade, go to war, etc., or is that future expansion? There isn't the facility to interact with other realms. You do interact with other landowners, and in the realm you're in, there are bits of land owned by other landowners. So you don't control all of what you see. So there is that aspect to it, but no, you don't trade with other realms. You don't take armies across to other realms. There's none of that at this stage. We need to get this side of it ironed out, and then maybe that is something to think about for further expansions in the future. Well, that's at least 3 of us there are ordering all 3 in the spiral bound format. Surely there's enough to have a single pledge level with 3 EBIT. That is a good question. I will think about that. Chaos Dominion. This is very meta. We are spending money on a game that requires us to pay taxes so that Toby can pay taxes in the real world. Are you trying to blow my mind as well? Yeah. Maybe I'm in the game. Maybe I don't realise it. But what I'm doing is I am actually in the game. I'm creating my own world around me, and I will wake up in that world. I saw someone ask a question. Yes, please, lol. Sam, I ordered all of them in Spiral Bound 2. Fantastic, Sam. That's great. My sense of humour is somewhat obtuse. Puns often. That's fine, Todd. You keep throwing them out, man. Jeff says 2d6 Dominion. 2d6 Dominion. Capital letters. Sam says, yeah, that's one down the line, isn't it? You got me thinking. Will the Peasants Revolt? That is the Peasants Revolt in the UK. Was over in the UK visiting my kids for Thanksgiving. James, fantastic. Hope you had a nice time. I'm sure you must have done. How you balanced it when one player, let's say, plays level 4 of a dungeon with the normal 2d6 dungeon rules, another player plays a level 4 dungeon and has built his uber sword and armor in the realm? Well, that is a good question. So, Sebastian, there is a term called level appropriate creatures. So when you're going to a realm, a lair, you will fight the highest level appropriate to your own level. So if you're level 10 and you may have your uber armor and weapons, you can still fight. You will still be fighting a level 9 or 10 creature when you go into these locations. It's something that I've had to do for balance, basically, and to make it fun. So it's really it's a good point, but we do address the balancing, so that there is a system in place when that happens. Now, if you're to the point where you've got your uber sword and your uber armor and you're just wiping everything out, and you're finding, blimey, how it's getting too easy, then you are ready. You are ready for the next year, and hopefully it will take you that long, and there'll be the next expansion for you to then get into. Mark says Ream or Realm? Good question. Shernette, good to see you. Welcome. I backed the original Tedious Dungeon, but can't find how to download my copies. Who do I email for the information again? I do have the Lair expansions and the Halloween cards. Fantastic. So, you can email me at toby@drgames.co.uk, or you can go to the Kickstarter, 2D6 Dungeon Kickstarter, and there you can go back through the updates, and you need to go back past, it's like another page over. So when you click on the updates, it gives you like 10. You need to go down another page, and then there's an update there that only backers can read. Okay, it's got the magic links in there for the rules and the codex. So it says on it, download for backers only. So it's one of the updates. I can send you the links if you email me. That's no problem. Or I can send you the link to that particular update. So, oh, was 2011, was it? A bit. Thanks, man. I don't look stupid. Jeff says, red shirt as an expendable. Yes. Red shirts were the ensigns. Ensigns, yes. Yeah. Well, that's security, isn't it? Back in the original films, I think, isn't it? Unai. Good to see you. Hello, everybody. What a great surprise this week. New game. Looks amazing. Just backed it a couple of hours ago. Spiral. Not another one. Congrats on a successful campaign once again. You and I, thank you. That's very kind of you. It has been a roller coaster ride. I am loving every minute. His name is Chaos. Nice. Nice. P4N9, sorry, we'll have to watch this after work. Okay, P4N9, no problem, my friend. If you're watching the vlog, hey, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Ebit, I am a CPA. Can we stop talking about taxes? Oh dear, I hate hearing that word at work, and now it's invading my safe space. I agree. Let's stop talking about taxes. Lord McRae, well, I'd say you are not in the game. You are the game, for there would not be the game without you. Am I right? I think you're right. I think you're right. I better keep doing it then, so everybody stays alive. No, I am just a player, man. I'm just a designer. My sense of humour is obtuse too, Mark says. Trying to read obtuse humour in the chat. It's a little bit difficult to catch. Are you actually Baron Cragfleet? Cragfleet with 2 G's, Jeff. No, I'm not. The peasants are always revolting. Now they're rebelling. Absolutely. Ebit, our apologies. I will ask if the dice have different faces than normal D6. Yes. P4N9. Sounds like I'm talking to a droid. Yes, there are. There's 2 axis dice. So the X and the Y, and you've got your door dice, which has got 0 and 1, 1, 2, 2, and a 3 on their sides, and then you've got 2 normal pip dice. So with different colours. They're all different colours, and they're all a stone texture. So yeah, exciting. Last time I promise. Wade, no problem, Wade. The Lairs Volume 2 is in the Omnibus, correct. So I can just exchange those 2 in my pledge. Yes, you absolutely can. Sorry again, and thank you. Nick says 345% funded. Thank you, everybody. You're awesome. Jeff says, regarding balance, the dungeon level creatures don't have the same level system as the Lairs, so it would be good to explore the dungeon either before going too far into Realm or as you go. Yes, it's very true. P4N9 again. If it's possible for the digital rewards on this campaign to include redemption codes for Drive-Thru RPG or similar. We haven't been doing that. It's complicated. There are a number of reasons for that, but we'll see. They're kind of like two products, and we do sell on Drive-Thru RPG, but they're in charge of that product. They make the money out of that product. You know, so it's difficult. It's not as straightforward as you think. Realm was a comment about the spelling on the Kickstarter page referring to the earlier by someone else. Oh, no. I think there's... I'll have a look. And if we have Lairs 1, 2 and Halloween, does the Omnibus contain anything different that we might miss? Yes, P4N9. It does. You've got some extras, some pre-generated maps, and actually some alternate tables. So we're throwing in a few tables, the same table names, but different versions of them. So we're going to put some of those in there as well. So maybe a new pouch 1 table, just to give a little bit of variety. And Tim, must go. Congrats on the success of the Kickstarter, but hardly a surprise really. Well, thank you, Tim. Brian, sorry, what is the benefit for Spiral Bound? Brian, good question. It's how you play. Some people like to lay it out and have it flat, which is absolutely fine. Yeah, it makes sense. I'm a flicker, personally. I'd flick it, read, and put it back. First of all, congratulate 40X. Hi, Toby. First of all, congratulations for such an amazing game. Have you considered translating the game into other languages, Spanish, French, etc.? Maybe this could bring more people to the game. Well, we have. And today, I signed a contract to have it translated into Spanish. And the people that the publishers that are doing that are going to be selling it in Spanish to people in South America, Spain, and across the world. So that's really exciting. It feels really weird to be signing away something like that. And to be honest, I was really nervous about the situation and the IP and how that's managed. But the company that are doing it, they're really cool. And when we've got more details, and when we've got like links, I will be posting them and pushing it and letting everybody see exactly what's going on with that. But it is a very distinguished company. I can't remember their name. But their website is fantastic. They do tons of books in Spanish, and it's really exciting. So yeah, that is coming. French, we haven't had any approach. We had someone approach about Chinese. So we're looking into that. But there proved to be a bit of a language divide, no pun intended, with that situation. So we'd have to see how that goes. Security engineering, wear the red shirt. Scotty, yes, of course. Yes, that's right. It was... No, it's not 1G on the Kickstarter page. If it is, then it's wrong. It's 2Gs. I'll check that. It may well have ended up being that way. You know what it's like. You know what it's like, Jeff. Edit E. There's no benefit per se, more personal preference. I personally like being able to flip a page in the spiral bound books and having it lay open as such. Exactly. Spiral bounds aren't great for flipping. They're not. They're loose. So when you flip them, the integrity of the flip is loosened by the bind not holding the spine. You don't ever have a flip book that's got a spiral bound, but they are good for holding open, putting open and turning around and looking at it in more time. Whereas if I find it personally, it's just a personal preference, I prefer to flip, read, close, and goes over there. That's how I've always done it. Frank! Can you see how busy I am, Frank? I see you. I haven't forgotten. It's coming. Mark, there's a lot more comments coming on here than normal, so I can understand that you're reading comment referring to early comments out of sync. I am. I'm sorry. I'm behind chat. I know. I apologise. I think people. I'm trying to give worthy answers. Godzilla, good to see you, my friend. Congrats on Kickstarter. Probably them laying flat on the table easily. Yeah. Brian says, congrats. Pretty cool. Frank, you're pretty cool. Mark, I don't know what that's referring to. Godzilla, nice. Ay caramba. You just missed the spelling. Other foreign words I'm not going to try and say because I'm English and the English are notoriously bad at speaking foreign languages. The early comment about Twitch was talking about how long I have been around. Yes. Yeah. Back in the day when I was drawing those maps and we used to have a good old chat. Yeah. Back in the day. James, awesome to hear you expand to Spanish. Yes, James. Yeah, that is exciting. Very exciting about that. I'm happy to translate it into American for you, creepy hero. I can't really say anything to that. I mean, I put my foot in it no matter what I said. Chaos Dominion. With all the Star Trek references, I'm surprised nobody has asked for a translation to Klingon. Kapla! Red shirts wear security. That's what I thought. Isn't it? Isn't that what I said? Okay. Hi Tony, how you doing? Brian, gold was command. Gold became command, wasn't it? Or was gold originally? Oh my god, they swapped it over, didn't they? Harold, which of the items in the Kickstarter is exclusive and won't be available to buy at a later date? Wow. Harold always goes straight for the jugular. I like it. You can always expect a good... He wants to know the dirt. This is... Tell me, Toby. All right. Okay. The exclusive items at the moment is just... Well... When we run out of faux leathers, we run out of faux leathers. If we have a few left over, because we order extra, and we might sell those leftover faux leathers on the website. Same goes for the Omnibus. So in a sense, exclusive is really about ordering stock for the Kickstarter. Now, if we did another Kickstarter, we would then do more Omnibus in the next Kickstarter, but we're never going to order those separately just to sell in the shop. Okay, so the faux and the Omnibus, the paperback Omnibus may well be sold in the shop, but the ones that are expensive and we can't really justify printing just to sell in the shop, they're the kind of, that's like the exclusive content. So that's kind of, that's where we're at with it. You know, Jeff says, yeah, I thought it was supposed to be 2Gs. It is. I'll have some small edits for you in a bit. Oh, that would be just typos, really, because the problem with these are images I've had to sort of jig around. So any typos is really what I'm looking for. Oh, Tony. Is everything I need included in the Dungeon Realms and Lairs expansion? There are no separate chart and table books. That's so Dungeon Realms and Lairs. Yes, everything's in there. You good, Frank? Oh, Frank, no, I know you don't. I'm just glad to have you here, my friend. I know you don't join just to remind you. No worry. Yeah. I like knowing you're there, my friend. It shows, you're interested, and we will get some time together to sort out this app. I promise. Mark's doing beep beeps. I don't know why he's doing beep beeps. I'm getting trolled now. I like spiral bound, especially when there are tables. I'm not afraid of damaging the spine when laying the books flat. Yes. I mean, the thing about the smaller books is they don't lay as flat. No small book, no narrow book you get like that you're gonna be able to lay it out flat. Well, I mean, you can, but they kind of go back. It's just like that's just how the world works, isn't it? With that stuff. Yeah, so that makes perfect sense. Klingon will be for 2d6 Void. Yeah, they'll sue me. New Star Trek switches red to command, gold to engineering. Yes. Mark, I'm a sad bastard. No, you're not. Don't be stupid. Bleep, bleep, bleep. Notice a slight American difference. See, I'm going to be getting these tips now from Creepy Hero on American dialect and how it changes from English, if you get what I mean. Thinking about missing stuff, is there a PDF somewhere of Dungeon Grid that can be printed in A4? The one in the book is split in two and not easy to print as it is. Godzilla, that is a good question. I can't remember whether we did one. I think we did one. I think. If not, we should have one. There is definitely one around. I started to beat because you said it was like talking to a robot when I joined the call. Oh no, I wasn't talking about you, Frank. I was talking about the guy with the P8N7 or whatever, like a droid. His name sounded like something out of Star Wars, like R2D2. Mark says sod American dialects. Lol. No. Lol. I definitely didn't Google civilization when reading through IST to make sure that was the UK spelling. So, for the A4 Dungeon Grid, maybe the files section on the Facebook group, probably. Yeah, I know. So that's a good point, Sam. Oh, I see. Frank says, yeah, I know. So I was talking like a robot too, just for fun. I'm definitely getting trolled. Okay. Right. Well, I think fantastic, guys. Love all the questions. Love the banter. I sit on my own all day, so it's really nice to hear what people got to say. I'm a sad Brit sitting on my own in my house doing wonderful things. So there is an error back there. Right, so oh yeah, I wanted to have a look at this quickly, just to make the point for people watching this. I do need some A4 grids. We'll cover that. I'll put that on the page if they're not there already. So you can pick up the free version of 2D6 Dungeon if you don't have it already. If people are watching back, I know everybody in the chat has got the game, but if you're watching this video back, you can pick up a copy of 2D6 Dungeon for free. You only get level 1, but you get all the rules, so you can apply those when you need to when you're playing 2D6 Realm. That's important to know. So there is that thing there. Map making is a big thing, but we are evolving the map thing, and Sam and some of you guys who do some of these maps for me, Jeff, Todd, I have made a few changes. It looks like, Todd, you're using the tag anyway, but a few changes to sort of iron it out a little bit more, make it look a bit more organic. Mark's part of the same team as me, and we've got Corradine, and they've got a nice big map that I've done, and that is going to be full of stuff and kind of exciting to sort of give a bit of context to the whole situation. We've got artwork by Jake, who's done the black and white drawings that you're seeing, apart from the map, which I did. And then we're using, I've been in contact with Dean Spencer, who's a fantastic painter, and he's doing the work there. Playtesting is ongoing, and some of you guys are just fantastic with all that, so very helpful. Got the videos, which we've talked about. Stretch goals. Oh yeah, let's talk about this briefly. So stretch goals are going to expand out. We've got just not the camera. So so I had this idea. How can we expand out the characters a bit? And one of the things that I came up with was that we could have Ancestries, because having written a lot of that in the lore already, I was kind of like, well, hang on a minute. Let's see if we can make these accessible for people to play. So I've developed this new system, and you can see it in the latest updates. You can go in there and you can now play a Paradisai, a Tarion, and Almas, and the humans also have particular things about them as well, which are going to affect how you can play. And you're going to get a little card you put next to your character sheet that you can reference, because there's certain pros and cons to the different ancestries, and you can and they're going to be unlocked. And we've unlocked the 4. They will go into the optional rules, and they throw up new challenges. Like the Paradisai cannot use potions, for example. They're very good with magic scrolls, and they have some other benefits as well. They're more precise and delicate, but they're weaker. So there are certain things that go along. They're kind of like almost like the elves, because we want to kind of it's kind of standard procedure, isn't it? The elves, the dwarves, humans, they'll cover certain characteristics that certain peoples have, and these are going to be reflected in the key ancestries in Corradine. What have we got here? One thing just came to mind. Mapping is done in squares on a grid. Then shouldn't the grid itself be square to maintain stability and the scalability in the map? That's a good question. I'll have a think about that one. I'll have a think whether that makes a huge difference. I'm not sure, to be honest. Oh, hang on. Camera's gone a bit bonkers. Pro streamer here. Okay. That is a good question. Creepy Hero says, it's like
I have a crystal ball and I can see myself making colorized world maps. So strange. Fantastic. I look forward to seeing those as well. Ebbit responds to Godzilla. The grid on the Facebook page are also nice because they have... Oh, yes. Yes. Needed to spend more time. Maybe we'll put more of that into this one and include some other grids. I sent you other thoughts on the Paradise earlier. Not sure if you saw it yet. I don't think I have seen it. No. I don't think I have. Someone was saying they liked it. Okay, I will have a look. Hopefully the Ancestries will have a twist so they're not a clone of the usuals. Indeed they do, Mark. Indeed they do. There are particular things that are unusual. See, the world of Corradine was formed by the god Caladir, and Caladir, his main power was imbuing rock or stone with magical power, life-giving power. And then, so the millennia passed when this happened. These stones have kind of been absorbed into the land, and they have appeared. So dust and stone can have like magical properties. That's where the magic in the land comes, and not a lot else in there. Now, there is a low form of magic that derives from the stone, but there's a kind of like there's a heritage to that, to the magic that we will find out more about. Are there seasons or similar? Xerox. That's a good question, actually. Yeah, there are, but they haven't really been worked into how the game functions as yet. But I guess we'll that will be revealed more as I go through writing the encounter tables. See how that goes. Just thinking, if you end up doing a larger map, yeah, Todd, you're not wrong. I just think about whether that would break the integrity, whether it matters, whether they're square or not. I don't know. Daniel, good to see you. Hi, lost track of time this eve, but glad I haven't missed this totally. Good to have you here, Daniel. Godzilla, oh wow, I was not expecting the lore to be so deep already. Yeah, well, I've had to. That's part of the reason why I've been a bit slow to hand stuff out to testers, because I felt like I had to write the lore to be able to come up with some of the magical objects and encounters, have a kind of understanding of the land before I wrote too much of the encounters, and so I can tie it all together. Because ultimately, I want to write some short stories as well that go along with it, and I want to sort of create some characters that can be potentially met by the adventurers. So what would be cool is if you're in an encounter and if you did meet one of these special characters that you have read about in a short story of the world, I think that would be pretty nice crossover. People interacting with these characters that they know of from these stories they've heard about, and maybe they've been read to as a child, or they've heard about on the grapevine. Yeah, I think so, Godzilla. I think a good lore backing the world is important, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I just love all that stuff, you know. I don't think it would make much of a difference other than paper size. You would use less of each sheet of paper. Nick says the lore is fantastic so far. Thank you, Nick. I do appreciate that, my friend. Right, so we've got new game cards. Okay, let me just reiterate here. Unfortunately, I made a bit of a balls up and called them layer cards in the add-on section. They are the realm cards. That was because I was obviously thinking about the layer cards being included in the game cards, the realm cards, which they will be. So there's a kind of they're kind of multifunctional. We've got the add-ons. You've got 2D6 Dungeon, Lair, the and all the bits and pieces there you can see with the foes. Then we've got the dice. Yeah, Mark, I feel it does help with the immersion. And we put that in there. And then we've got a bit about the Lairs, and try and explain a bit more detail what's in each one, because I had a series of questions, so I thought, right, I'm going to make a panel and put it in, and there, plonked it in. So hopefully that makes sense. And then there's a bit about the faux leather set. If you buy the faux leather set, it's the most expensive tier. You also get the cards, the bookmarks, and the dice set with it. So it makes it a real bargain. It says in there the add-ons, and that is what add-ons you get with the faux leather book set. So it's a bit of a box set. So that's quite exciting. And then we've got a bit about us and the postage and progress. So the thing is, we will have the game. I think the game's going to be written come the end of January. So and then refined during February and printed at the end of Feb and then sent out. It's a lot of work to do, I know, but it's a little bit different than 2D6 Dungeon in the sense that we were really sort of playing around with the combat system, had to do a lot of testing on that side of it to make that work. We got there. We're using that in this. Okay, we're using that system. We're using a lot of the generation system in this for spaces, and the haunted house generation system. A lot of that's been done. The key element here is really making sure the map can be generated, and then the encounters are tables that I'm going to be writing. You know, so it's all going to slot together. Don't forget, it is an expansion of 2D6 Dungeon. So, yes, we are kind of there. Fantastic. Very excited about the dice. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. Now, have we got any other questions? I think we've covered quite a lot, haven't we? Trying to think whether anything's come up. I just wanted to thank Kevin for the awesome bookmark that he sent me. Let me get it. So Kevin did me a large version of the items list to go with my other one. He does these fantastic, really beautifully produced, enlarged versions. That is just fantastic. So thank you, Kevin. I know you're not in the chat at the moment, but hopefully you watch this back and see. Appreciate that, my friend. So that is awesome. Godzilla says, I love the use of different colour for the faux leather. Yeah, it's going to look fantastic. Todd says, depends. If you have a region map with towns and all in a grid, the area of your fief exploration is one square to the larger map. If you are travelling distances away, it maintains both a relative distance and a relative scale. Yeah. I kind of picture doing a zoomed in map on a separate page of an area with a village and drawing it out. Yeah, I know. There's a few things to think about, isn't there? There's a few things to consider. So when is the IST version 1.4 coming out? Got videos to make. Ha ha ha. Okay. I will do it for you tomorrow. As much as I want to work on 2d6 realms all the time, I cannot. You just can't do the one project constantly 24/7 unless you're building up to a Kickstarter. So I will spend, I don't think it's going to take me too long. Version 1.4 IST. I will get that going tomorrow, Scott. And did I say hello to you earlier? I may have missed your thing, but I will get that done tomorrow. It's only, I think, only a few tweaks, so I've made a little note of that here. So it's on one of my pads. I'm surrounded by tons of notes. I'm not going to show you the absolute mess that surrounds me here. It's very creative. I know where everything is, in theory. Like for the homestead, if definitely making a homestead map for myself to keep track of the new buildings and such. Yeah. So the homestead in the middle, and then your buildings will be around in your realm. And the thing is, hopefully, there's a system where you use inventive usage to highlight, to beautify, if you like, your realm. So you could add in roads and little connection stuff, and gradually you could build your realm so it begins to grow into a settlement. That's what I'd love to see. Buildings starting to appear, and then roads and maybe some signs and other bits and pieces, and suddenly you look at it and you think, whoa, hang on a minute now, we are looking at a little town here. Mike says, if anything like my list, I can understand. I just changed my pledge. I completely missed the dice. Now included. Brilliant. Well, thanks, Frank. Awesome stuff. Need to add the spiral version of 2d6 tomorrow. 2d6 round tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow. Cool. No hurry. We've got another 30-something days to do. So fantastic. Really awesome stuff. Great. We've just hit 700 backers. Wow. That is mind-blowing. And we're stampeding along to the next Kickstarter. I've got a whole bunch of other Kickstarters to go in. Stretch goals to go in that I've written. And they will be a surprise for tomorrow. 700 back. Thank you, everybody, for backing. It's so cool. Really, really appreciate it. Brilliant. For those who have grown with D&D, this game is simply a masterpiece. Zero, thank you. Seriously, great job, Toby. Appreciate that. Well, I started with the red box set, played that solo player game in there. I was like 11, that beautiful priest. She's one of the characters and it dies at the end of the story. Tragic. And then all the little maps. Played it with my brothers and played AD&D with them. Ran loads of campaigns. Then moved out into other role plays. Warhammer played extensively. So all that stuff is coming from my head into this game. So you're tapping into that same place, my friend. Thanks, Creepy Hero. Appreciate that. Thanks, James. Oh, yes. Crayon dice. Get those crayons and make those numbers appear. All gamers our age, remember that, priest. Scott. Yeah. Larry Elmore. He could really draw them back then. I played Judge Dredd. Now, funny enough, that's one of the few I did not play, the role-play version of Judge Dredd. I played lots of others, though. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was fantastic. Marvel Superheroes was great as well. I loved all that stuff. Games Workshop, original Games Workshop, you said it. Appreciate the insight on the Spyro editions off to back the project. Adjador, thank you. Todd started with the 3 little white books and chits. No dice at that point yet. Yeah, there you go. Nice. God, chits were such a thing, weren't they? Little squares of card. Oh, I used to love it. We used to play all the board games with the battles and the wars and the chits and the... Fantastic. Star Frontiers, 2d6 Void. Well, you know, that's a long way. I can't think about Void at the moment. That's coming up next year. ADD, Gamma World, Top Secret Gunslinger, Car Wars, yes. Yeah. Those things were annoying, especially in the school library. Well, definitely. You guys have been brilliant this evening. Gonna wrap it up there. I'm sad. Yeah, I've still got my white box D&D and black box Traveller. I don't quite go back that far. I didn't have those ones, and you know, being in the UK, I don't know whether Mark, you said you're in the UK. You got a white box D&D. That's good. Of course, the original Games Workshop did distribute that in the UK. So, fascinating. Yeah, no, we're going to leave it there. It's 11:40 here. I've got to get to bed. I'm keeping my wife up. I'm ancient, Mark says. You're only as young as you feel. You're as old as you feel. I forgot how the saying goes. One of those. You can tell I'm getting tired now. What about the 2d6, the board game entry level option? Chaos Dominion comes in there with a hard slap. Oh man, you just slapped my brain hard. Oh, I just love the thought of creating a board game. Harold, thank you for that pledge. Yeah. I think Drop Pods would make it a good board game as well. We held back on making it a board game, to be honest, Scott. It was the money side of it. We tried to do a board game before, and it didn't fund. And yeah, Drop Pods would be good. I don't know whether sci-fi would be the right way to go. It doesn't necessarily strike me that could be as popular. We'll see. There's not enough fantasy board games. Well, I don't know. That's all by the by. My mind is completely focused on 2d6 Realm, and I'm loving every minute. And IST for tomorrow. Put that update on there. Way the wife, brave man you are. Have a great night. See you next week. Yes, I'll be on Thursday next week. I hope to see everybody here. Baba, did I miss you earlier? Thanks so much for the info today, and congrats again. I played white box and red box, and this is definitely reminding me of the happiness I had way back then. Good night to you all. Thank you, Baba. You are awesome. Sam, you're awesome. I love that it all plays in a notebook. It's my favourite part. I won't be able to play it otherwise. Exactly. I love it. The notebook thing, the scale, the A5 format. You know, for me, that's a lot of what it's about, and the physicalness of it, the creating of it. You know, that takes me back to those times. That's why I love it. Is a live stream every Thursday? I do. Thank you, EP. 2d6, the new morphine for the masses. That would be lovely. we We're working in a niche here. I just have to appreciate that. This isn't world domination. All right, guys. I'm going to leave it there. You have been awesome. Thank you. Good night. Good night. Take care, and I will catch up with you very soon. Thank you. Spread the word. Do your thing. And we'll build a realm together. So everybody, take care, and I will catch up with you very soon.